Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, I've had a few people send me some of this article that came out from the owner and operator of Hurtigruten Cruise Lines, which is actually sailing right now. They actually have a ship sailing through Norway right now, and they held a conference with a bunch of local travel agents, and he said some interesting things that people wanted me to talk about. Okay, here we go. So during this conference, he was talking about how the cruise line has started up and what their safety procedures are. Same old thing, buffets limited capacity, the things we know that are going to be going forward when the cruise lines start up, unless of course we have that vaccine hits and everyone's okay now and we're not afraid to go outside and breathe anymore. But he also stated in there where the journal who was interviewing him also had some interesting comments. But the biggest comment that everyone wanted me to talk about was he's saying that the cruise industry, even before this all started and the shutdown started, was having a pretty bad reputation with overcrowding in places. And he said, I don't think, this should be a wake-up call for all the cruise lines out there. He says, I don't think a cruise ship of 6,000 passengers should be allowed to go into a port with 500 people and overcrowd it. And a lot of people are cheering him on. In fact, the author of the article actually said, it's very rare to hear somebody coming out that forthright and that honest in the cruise line industry. Okay, all right, I can see your point. 6,000 people going into a cruise port of 500 people. First of all, it doesn't happen very often. There's very few places that only hold 500 people unless it's an off-season thing, and then they bring in a whole bunch of people outside to operate the town and run amusements and run tours during the summer to make money. That's a different story than just running into a town with, first of all, if 6,000 people get off a ship in a town of only 500, what would there be for them to do too often? Not a whole lot in a lot of cases. But let's just take that number, 6,000 people into a thing, and he was going on saying they shouldn't be allowed to do it. Now, that's great to have that opinion and everything, but then I said, well, how big are his cruise ships? And so they have about 9 cruise ships in their fleet, and the largest ship in their fleet holds 900 passengers. The average cruise ship in their fleet holds under 600 passengers, down around 500 passengers, and they have like 3 or 4 that hold under 300 passengers. So it's very easy for him to come out and say, I don't think, we should go into a town of 6,000 capacity cruise ships should not be allowed to go into those towns when you have no horse in the race. You don't have a large cruise ship. You have only small cruise ship. You're a specialty cruise line, and you're very good at what you do. But to come out, it's very self-serving for a CEO to come out and say 6,000 big cruise ships shouldn't be allowed to go there when you don't have any big cruise ships. Now, had it been, Norwegian Cruise Line or Royal Caribbean come out and say that, then that might be a little bit more, newsworthy in that. But when a cruise line CEO and owner comes out and he has only small ships in his fleet and he says the big ships shouldn't be allowed to do there, the cruise industry really has to take a look at itself. It sounds very self-serving to me. It sounds extremely self-serving. It'd be like, I don't know, Princess Cruise Lines saying that the only, that no other cruise ship out there should be allowed to go to Alaska because they're the number 1 in Alaska. That doesn't make sense, and neither does this. Neither does what a small cruise line that doesn't have any large ships should not be telling other cruise lines how to run their business. As far as forthcoming is concerned, it's not forthcoming when it's self-serving. It might actually be how he feels, but it comes off as very disingenuous when you're talking about something that you don't have any stake in and can only benefit your company. If there was actually a ban out there on cruise ships, over 1,500 passengers are not allowed in all of these ports, it wouldn't affect him at all. In fact, he could double up his ships because they only have 900, and that's only on one ship. The rest are all 600 and under. So one ship is still under 1,000 people. So is it groundbreaking? No. Is it noteworthy? Really? No. At least that's my opinion. And you know what? I'm all for watching overcrowding. You should never have 9 cruise ships in a port, that drops off 40,000 people in a port that is like 1,000 people in the town. No, that shouldn't happen. You should keep an eye out. We should watch that. But I don't take anything seriously unless you have a stake in the game. Unless you are one of the people that will be willing to cut back what you're doing to back up your own words, then really, you really have no stake in the game. Let me know what you guys think down below. I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Till next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.